we're now going to return to look a little more at the brain and what happens within the brain when you experience anxiety, and how we can use this to our advantage. There was an interesting experiment done in the 1990s. What happened was a group of people were taken and they were shown how to play an exercise on the piano. They had to play this exercise with a metronome, and they had to practice the exercise until they got it as perfect as possible. They were asked to practice for 2 hours a day for a week. Whilst this was going on, they were also taking measurements in the brain and mapping pictures out, particularly of the region of the brain that controls the fingers. At the end of the experiment, they compared the mapping that was done at the start of the experiment with the mapping that happened at the end. But they also did an interesting thing. They took a similar group, took similar measurements, taught them the same exercise, but the instruction was to imagine practicing the exercise for 2 hours a day for a week. So they had to sit, picture a keyboard, imagine their fingers moving and touching the keys, hear the metronome, hear the sounds of playing, and do that for 2 hours a day, exactly the same as the first group, but they weren't allowed to actually play the piano. At the end of the experiment, they mapped the same regions of the brain for the first group, and then they took both results side by side and looked at them, and what they found was really, really interesting.